The very first video game console, the Odyssey, was released 53 years ago in 1972. Since then, every game has shared one aspect: the format the game is presented in, video. Be it in 8-bit or in 4K, it's all shown through the same means. And to me, and many others, the most important aspect is the artistic direction. Super Mario on the NES in the early 80s, all the way to games released today, it's the one thing that really makes each game unique and distinguishable. The art style of each game, the way the developers present the ideas and the gameplay through a visual means, have always been a major selling point for video games. The graphical style and artistic vision of a game have also been very important to how well a game is received, and the way that those parts of the game complement each other have also been a very important aspect. However, in September of 2017, Epic Games unknowingly released a game that started a chain reaction in the gaming scene, causing the entire concept of things like artistic vision and graphical compatibility to be flipped on its head. The name of that game was Fortnite. On September 26, 2017, Epic Games would release a game that would, unbeknownst to them, not only change the way the world saw video games, but also change the entire industry. Fortnite on release was an absolute phenomenon. Millions around the world were playing, and even more were talking about it. For a time, it felt like the entire world was playing and talking about Fortnite. But what exactly caused the game to blow up so much? Why did it become the phenomenon that it did? Beyond the addicting gameplay, the visual style of the game had something special to it, the it factor that some people would talk about. To break it down, Fortnite had this sort of addictive visuals that made you want to keep looking and playing. Despite being super cartoony, it had this sense of cohesion and personality that was completely unmatched. Especially in the Battle Royale space, filled with games like PUBG and H1Z1 that were both gritty, grimy, and very realistic, Fortnite had that something special to it. What exactly gave Fortnite's art style that it factor? Well, to me and to many others, the most important factor was the imperfections of the game's art style. Well, you might be asking, what do I mean by that? Well, first thing, I want you to look at this. This is a pretty cut and dry, standard bookshelf for most video games. I want you to notice how perfect it feels, almost soulless. I'm not saying that it's bad, but it's not special and it's not different. Now I want you to look at this one. This is the same thing. It's a bookshelf, but this is what Fortnite's team went with. Notice how it's slightly angled inward. The planks of wood are both thick and thin. By taking out the perfections and creating artificial imperfections, the assets managed to create something that, while technically not perfect, is absolutely perfect for the kind of game Fortnite was. Something that gave it more soul and character than any game on the market. Let's go backwards in time a little bit, to before Fortnite was released and when it was still just a concept. Let's look at some concept art. You can notice that in the older concept arts of Fortnite, you can see there was actually a point in time where the game was supposed to be a gritty, realistic, and dystopian looking game. However, as time progressed, and with the advent of this concept art here, you can see that Fortnite took on, while still slightly gritty here, a more cartoony, angular, and imperfect style. As well as this, there was guides like this made to show the design team how to make the assets. During the peak of the game's popularity, something changed. There was a shift. A small one, but it would send ripples and end up causing the death of the personality of Fortnite in the long run. I would like to call this the turning point. People have argued and discussed as to when this happened. Some would say it was during Season 4 when they added Thanos in the Avengers, and some would say it was when Chapter 2 came out. But personally, I think it was during Season X when they introduced the Borderlands area of the map. For context, Borderlands is a video game series developed by Gearbox, known for its looter-shooter gameplay and unique cel-shaded art style. During Season X, Fortnite added an area of the map that changed the art style of the game from the pre-existing cartoony art style to the Borderlands one. A change that didn't last and that was small, but provided the beginning to the end of the game's artistic identity. From that point forward, Fortnite started to worry less and less about if things were going to fit in with the game's visuals and if the visual fidelity was going to suffer. The game slowly lost its cartoony art style in favor of a slightly more real and soulless one, and as the time moved forward, more and more skins were added to the game that didn't really fit in to the game's original art style, to the point where back to back, these almost look like two entirely different games. Now you might be asking, why does this matter, and what does this even mean? Well, the shift in what is undeniably the largest game on the entire planet has caused two major issues within the gaming scene. The death of artistic identity in online gaming, and the start of the collaboration era of online video games. Many games that have recently released have become victim to the Fortnite effect, and have begun to drop their pre-existing art styles and identities in favor of ones that will allow for more collaborations. This isn't entirely a bad thing on paper, however none of the major online games have any soul in them anymore. They all rely on this faux cartoony art style that allows for as many collaboration skins as possible, causing gaming, especially online gaming, to become stale and feel super boring. Not only is this detrimental for gaming, but it also causes me a lot of pain knowing that a form of media that previously was brimming with personality and character has become more and more corporate and boring as the years have progressed. Going off script quickly, I just want to say whoever's watching this, thank you so much for watching. This is the topic I've had a lot of passion and words to say about for a very long time. And I'm really happy that I was able to get my words down and my words across and kind of have the fun to make this video. And I hope whoever's watching this has as much enjoyment watching it as I had making it. So just one more time, thank you so much for watching.